game, but if you can do it like that in practice with the guys that we have, it's always good. We also went through a little 2 minute there that needed a touchdown. Had some really good execution on that stuff, and you're riding the emotional roller coaster, the ups and downs of how you flow, the ebbs and flows of the game. And then we had some mixed D&D and some really good things that we do in practice, which is always good to get the situational stuff within the movement of a drive to keep your guys being on that mode. And right now I'm on my coach speak, so I'm going to stop now.
Raheem, Tuesday after practice, Sean was visibly frustrated by the way the practice went. Do you feel like, A, this was corrected, and B, do you feel like you guys are where you need to be a week removed from that first preseason?
You know, as a coach, you always ride those emotional ebbs and flows, you know. And then sometimes it's never as good as it feels on the field, and it's never as bad as it feels when you get out there and look at it actually on tape. So Sean, he felt a certain way. He was able to give his guys immediate feedback. And I think it's up to us as coaches, us as players to respond. So no matter whether you felt like it was needed or right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. It's what he felt at that moment is just, and it's great to get that authentic juice from your leader. So when he gave us those things, I think you get a chance to go in and correct what he didn't like, get some of those things better, get ready to coach those guys up, and come out and have a good day. We were able to have 2 powerful walkthroughs and jog-throughs throughout that moment to get some of those things taught and corrected. And then you get back, you have a good practice like we were able to have today. You know, he's probably going to come over and still angry. Doesn't really matter. But it's our job as coaches to go fix those things, identify them, and it's our players' job to go fix them.
So as long as you've been doing this, just a quick follow-up to that, as long as you've been doing this with such a young team, are you the same? Are you coaching the same this year?
I'm always probably a little different. You know, I can always feel the positive out of a practice. I can always go get the negative from out of practice and kind of talk on those things and be able to coach those things up on the run, because I treat it like kind of like a game where I'm never going to ride the emotional wave and get caught up in the teachable moments. Teach those moments, move on, move past it, try to get them ready as quickly as possible to transition to the next drill. Keep those things how we want to have it, keep it light. Be able to get these guys back, trying to feel what they feel in those moments, trying to simulate those things. And I think if you can do those things for your players as much as possible. I had a great example with Rush yesterday. You know, we had an inside man coverage, and he misses inside man coverage on a 4 minute. I was able to get mad, simulate those feelings, let him know what it felt like to lose a game right there, and see him bounce back in 2 minutes. You know, those are the things that I look more forward to, especially coaching a young group, to see how you can move on with your mental toughness. You know, what is it to be a Ram? You know, you guys all picked on us with the longest shirt slogan of all time, but that is outstanding, right? If you really can read that stuff and you can mean that stuff, that's what it's about.
Where does most of the teaching take place? Is it on the field? Is it in the film room? Are there other places where you can pull guys aside and say, this is what you're doing right, or this is what you're doing wrong?
Who is this San Fran spy anyway? But we were talking about that. You know, it got to happen kind of in both areas. You know, I think the teaching in the nice, quiet, cool environment in the classroom is great, right? You get them in that environment, you can talk to them in the nice, calm voice, you can talk where you want to talk. But the real learning happens when it happens live and they do it on the grass by themselves with the coaches off the field. And then when they can recite it back to you in the meeting room, what they were thinking and how they did it. So I think it's all like, you know, your teacher, all the different learning styles, how you want to do it, whether the guys take their iPads, whether the guys take their notes, read in their rooms, whether they get together in their groups, get with their coaches individually, come on the field and do walkthroughs, whatever the question may be. All the different teaching styles and all the things you need to use is no different when it comes to coaching. I hope that answers your question. I don't know.
What are you seeing
Just a couple more guys.
You mentioned Rush East earlier, and then also Quentin Lake looks like he's doing a couple different things for you out there. What are you seeing from those 2 young safeties?
He is. He's getting to move around a little bit for us. He's playing safety. He's able to play in the box with a little bit of dime linebacker for us. He's able to play either side at safety. All those things. It's just nice to have him out here. You know, at this time last year, he wasn't even participating. We got him throughout the season, the middle of the season when he got healthy. He was able to do some things. His dad was out here yesterday, tried to show out. And now we got him in a nice spot. We're able to move him around, do some different things with him, and I'm really excited where he can go.
When you have a day of film where Aaron's on the sidelines, does that give you new points of emphasis for the rest of the roster?
You know, it doesn't, because we had to do it last year, you know, for a little bit of the season, which nobody wants to do. But when it happens, you got to leave yourself no excuse. You know, somebody's got to step up. I kind of gave those guys a spiel today. You know, had a couple of those guys stand up in the room, some of those D linemen. I say, hey, we got Aaron, and who's going to be the next guy that you guys write about? I'm getting tired of you guys writing about Aaron's greatness, and so should they. You know, they should start to talk about them and start to bring some of those names up and start to see those guys. And the only way you do that is to go out there and play. We can't talk about it. You can't tell people you're going to be that guy. But you can go out there and show us every day in practice, and hopefully it comes to life when we start the season.
How about Keller Witherspoon? What did you guys see before he came in, and what have you seen?
It's so funny. He asked me that yesterday about himself, and I'm extremely ecstatic on where he is, just based on the fact that he's able to go out there and compete. Talking about a young man that came in and got hurt right away, and had to get a quick surgery, and now he bounced back and is able to come out here and practice and be able to participate almost at a full level. I'm pretty excited. He's very smart, he's sharp, he's detailed. He's our type of guy. Looks like he wants to be a Ram, and I'm excited to help him.
All set? Cool.
See you guys later.
Thanks for having me.
It was so nice to get that done.
Mike LaFleur gets his own water. What a humble guy.
I can't do that. I can't do much.
Mike, especially after the pads went on, what have you seen from a couple of those young guys on offensive line, particularly interior with Tremaine April coming back and then Steve Avila on the left side?
Yeah, just battling, I thought it was a better day today. Obviously, you got to go back and check out the film. It wasn't good enough a few days ago, and I thought that got corrected. I thought the guys answered the bell today. Thought we ran it particularly pretty well right there in that last period. There's a lot of plays today, and for them to battle through and finish the way they did, it was pretty sweet.
Mike, Crystal Rich, KTLA, nice to meet you. Is there an update on Cooper Cobb that we just saw a second ago post-MRI?
Yeah, I don't know the total medical stuff with it. He's day to day. I mean, he'll be back, in the right time and stuff like that. So he's just going through the rehab process, but he's day to day. He'll be all right.
How cautious do you have to be with him moving forward when he does get there?
That's a question, kind of for the medical people. I try to stay in my lane with that stuff. When they tell us, hey, he's ready, full go. Coop knows his body. He's a professional. The guys working with him are professionals. They'll get it right when the time's right.
What have you seen from the receiving corps since he went out on what was that, Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 2 practices, but he wasn't here all spring. So for those guys to be able to move around, get 2-2 in at F, kind of shuffle some guys around, they're used to it. They had the 11 practices and OTAs. Obviously, this was our 6th one here, so they're getting used to it. And in some aspects, you always want one of the best in the world out there, but in other aspects, hey, there's other guys that are having to step up and play some positions they're not as familiar with.
What do you like from Tutu? What you're seeing out there since the start of camp?
Well, we can all see the stuff that just pops off, right? He's fast. He's not the biggest guy, but he's way longer and rangier than I ever knew, even when he was coming out of college, out of Louisville there. But the thing that people don't see, that we get to see on a daily basis, is just how smart this guy is. He's just locked in and to the point where he's in meetings and he's absorbing all the information, but also, hey, what about this play off of this, So he's a smart football player, and that's what's given him the ability to be so versatile. Obviously, his athletic ability is going to help him out there when that ball snaps, but being able to just, be versatile in this offense is a huge thing.
Mike, more game-like situational work in today's practice. What do you like about what you saw from the offense, particularly Stetson Bennett too in that 2-minute red zone?
Yeah, just battling, going through all these situations. Again, this was only our 6th practice, and these guys, we've thrown a lot at them. And for them, what I thought took a step over these last 2 days. Obviously, weren't on the field yesterday, but we put them through a pretty strenuous, above the neck jog through yesterday. They answered the bell with that, and going through all these situations. Every single day is going to be a lot of learning for a lot of guys that haven't played at this level. So I was pleased with how they performed today, bouncing back from 2 days ago.
Mike, besides for the guys that you're evaluating like that, you're obviously filming everything they do at practice. but for you specifically, when you're making a decision, how much of that decision is preseason games? Is that 80%, 90%, 50-50?
Yeah, it's a case by case, right? Obviously, everything they're doing out here, we evaluate it all, right? That's not just doing one-on-ones just because it's fun and people are hooting and hollering, catching fades in the red zone. You're just seeing how guys compete, so that's a big thing. But obviously, those preseason games are huge, particularly with a young team. This is a different operation than, say, again, it's my first year, obviously, but than what they've done in the past year. They've had a pretty veteran-led team. Haven't had to play the guys as much in the preseason because they've had so much regular season work. It's going to be a little bit different, So that preseason will be huge to see what guys, when the lights are on, can step up and perform the way we need them to perform.
Do you lean on Van, since it's year 4 for him, to be more of a little bit more of a leader? He's not exactly the most boisterous guy. And how do you get him back to his 2021 numbers, besides obviously keeping him on the field?
Yeah, there's, the numbers, that is what it is. Never looking at numbers or anything like that. We just want him being the best he can be. Obviously, 21, he was really healthy and had a really good year. And, I think I know he's attacked this offseason to make sure that he feels as comfortable as can be. And to answer your first question, you just want Van to be Van. You're not going to ask. You got to be your own personality, a leader within your own personality. Van's a professional. He has the respect of this locker room. He has the respect of the receivers, the coaches, this organization. He comes to work every single day. He busts his butt, and that's all you can ask from these guys.
When you have a rookie like Steve Avila, who's spending so much time going up against Aaron Donald, how do you evaluate and teach off of his 11-on-11 tape?
I think I've had the pleasure of going against Aaron Donald in an opposing uniform quite a bit, and it's pretty fun to have to go against him in practice, knowing that really the sack's not that real or something like that. But for Steve, if you're made of the right stuff like Steve is, then you embrace that competition every day. Yeah, he's the best to ever do it inside, and I truly believe that, and I think most people believe that. So for him just to go and battle, don't try to make stuff up versus Aaron. You got to just go play your game, and that is what it is. And we're playing it real. We're not. Aaron's on the left side. We're sliding to the left. I mean, that's the way teams do it. That's what Seattle's going to do, right? And so we're playing it real with it. But at the same time, when you are matched up one-on-one, don't blink. You got to go.
Sean has not been shy about talking about how this team needs to get the run game back up and going, and something that the offense can really lean and depend on this year. When you guys are designing and then figuring out how to apply and teach, can you take us inside that process a little bit more, what that's like as a group and what that feels like when you apply it all?
Yeah, it's been a collaborative effort dating back to when we got here in February. Obviously, there was quite a few staff changes with Wendy getting in here, Kaylee, Ron Gold. So there was a lot of new faces, and I can truly say it, and we've been a part of some teams that could run the ball. We put as much time in this offseason as I've ever been a part of in terms of making sure we're on the same page, and it's always going to still be a work in progress, trying to figure out, no matter what our menu is, no matter what we think is good scheme, we got to fit it to these players, and we know that. Sean knows that. That's why he's Sean. We do got the menu right now, but we'll figure out, and that's what we're challenging our guys. What is our identity going to be? Because we try to do everything, jack of all trades, master of none, right? So, we're just going to keep on going with it.
So is there like an addition and subtraction process too? Hey, we tried this a couple times, it doesn't necessarily work, or it's not clicking, let's tweak it, let's change it, or let's...
Yeah, and in some aspects, again, when you have the menu, we're going against our defense, right? And they have a certain front structure that not all that menu is good against that front structure, but you're still, trying to prepare your players for when that time comes that they've gotten enough work, even if it's jog through. So again, we're, trying to have that balance of what is good against our defense, but also, making sure that we have the right menu come for the 17-game season.
What do you like what we've seen so far from DeMarcus Robinson, and what does he bring to that receiver room that's making a difference?
Yeah, he's got a certain swag to him, man, that's contagious, and I think you guys can probably feel that when you're watching it out there. Every time he runs a route, he believes he's going to win that route, and he's had a tremendous camp so far. So really fired up about him. Obviously I've known about him being in Kansas City and Baltimore. He's been productive in this league, and believe this is a good fit for him right now. And he just got to keep on building, keep learning the details of this offense. This is different from Kansas City, different from Baltimore. So every day's a challenge for him, just picking up those details. But when that ball snapped, he believes he's going to win, and a lot of times he's right.
Puka Nacua, going back to spring when you didn't have Cooper, he's one of the guys who got more reps. How would you quantify his growth as a rookie and just since you've been around him?
Yeah, again, he hasn't played in a stadium right now, but if I had to guess, it's not going to be too big for him, right? He's taken a lot of reps through the 11 OTA practices, through the 6 practices here, moved him around a little bit. He's comfortable. When he breaks the huddle, you can tell the guys that are comfortable and the guys that need help, and his comfort level's getting better and better. And what I really like about him, we're all going to make our mistakes, right? Particularly the young guys. When he makes a mistake, he doesn't blink at it. He's not looking back at a coach like this, that, or the other. Just gets in the huddle. He's self-correct. He's not afraid to ask the questions, and really pleased with where he's at. At this point in camp, is it easy to tell or hard to tell which guys are ready for the bright lights and which guys aren't quite there yet? Yeah, you like to think that as a position coach, as a coordinator, as a head coach, you got a pretty good pulse on each player, each position group. But again, you never know, particularly with a young team, until those lights go on. But again, I'm excited to see these guys. I mean, it's coming up in whatever it is, 8-9 days, where they're going to have a chance against a different team, get it live, and then we'll evaluate that day after and see where we're at. Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Have a great night.